Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Chris Proctor. I am your personal trainer, your nutrition coach, and I'm here to help you take actionable, sustainable steps towards achieving your health and fitness goals. So today, I want to talk about something that can be a little bit of a triggering topic for some people. However, it's important to address and talk about the right and wrong ways to implement that. But before we get into this, if you're not already subscribing to my channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm getting back to pushing out regular content on here, both long form and short form, talking about a lot of different things. Think about like the podcast I used to have, except it's going to be here on my YouTube channel. Please also follow me over on Instagram. My user handle is @ChrisProctor_personal-trainer. So today, what we're going to discuss is this idea of weighing in. So if you are on a fat loss journey, your goal is to lose some fat, get down to a certain weight, or reduce your body fat to a certain level. How often should we be weighing in? What is the best way to get a clear view of what's actually going on, and how should this all look and how should it work? So first things first, if you are somebody who struggles with using the scale and keeping a positive mindset, that is to say, if you're somebody who, if you weigh in and it's not down as much as you think it should be, or if it's even up a little bit, if that kind of throws you into a tizzy and you have a really negative relationship with the scale and that body weight number that pops up on the scale, this video is not for you. This advice is not for you. My suggestion is that you work with somebody to get to the underlying issues that are causing you to feel that way and work on that before you start weighing in. So in my opinion, actually, I think you probably shouldn't be weighing in at all, and you certainly shouldn't be following the advice I'm about to give in this video. So for all the people who don't struggle with that, for the people who are able to use the scale for what it is, which is just a tool and one of many tools in our toolbox to assess our health and our progress, my recommendation is that you weigh in every single day, okay? Yep, you heard me right, every single day. And here's why. If you weigh yourself every single day, that gives you the maximum amount of data points on a month-to-month basis. And anytime we're analyzing anything, we want to have the most data that we possibly can, whether it's our weight, whether it is analyzing data in a laboratory or whatever. The more data we have, the better picture we have of what's going on. So if you're weighing yourself every single day throughout the month, you're going to have anywhere, depending on the month, between 28 and 31 data points to look at the end of the month to use to really try to gauge how you're doing. If you're only weighing yourself in once a week, there's a couple things that can happen there. Number one, you're only getting like 4 data points at the end of the month. So that's really giving you a very limited picture of how you're actually doing. The second thing there is that if you're only weighing yourself in a couple times, 3, 4, whatever it is times a month, that leaves you open to false impressions of how things are actually going, both positive and negative. On the positive side, it may indicate that you're doing really well. Like, let's say you weighed in after a day or two where maybe your job was like crazy busy and you really didn't get a chance to eat much. So you go to weigh yourself in and you're down a couple pounds and you're thinking, oh wow, great, whatever I'm doing is working, I should keep it up. You really shouldn't, because the only reason that scale is down is because you're eating a lot less than you normally would, because you're in a situation where you just don't have time to eat, right? So that's not sustainable weight loss, and that's really giving you a false impression that you're on a good path and you're doing the right things, when really it's just by chance that you were busy and you didn't get to eat, right? And on the negative side, let's say you're a female and you are in your monthly cycle. That can cause you to retain water. Same thing with if you're someone who maybe ate some extra sodium more than usual in the previous couple days before you weigh in, or more carbs. Those are things that also can cause you to retain water. So what that means is when you're going to step on the scale, that number is going to be up, and it may give you the false impression that you're doing something incorrectly, when really that may not be the case at all. So this is why we really want to look at weighing ourselves in every single day to give ourselves that maximal number of data points at the end of the month. Now, I've already touched on that, but why is it important? So what you can do is you can look at those data points and you can, number one, look at where you started versus where you are now. And number two, you can analyze the trends in the data, particularly your averages over time. So that way you get a better idea of what's going on and you won't necessarily freak out when you see a random scale spike. Because I got news for you. If you're somebody who's been weighing yourself for a while and tracking and doing all this stuff, you already know this. But if you're new to it or have never done it before, you may not know this. The reality is, no matter how good you're doing, you're not going to lose weight every time you step on the scale. That's just not how our bodies work. There are way too many variables that can cause a fluctuation in scale weight, even spikes, even when you feel like you've done so well and you've been on track. Our bodies are just very complex. So to have the expectation that every single time we step on the scale, it's going to be positive progress towards our goal is just not realistic, and it's going to set you up for disappointment. So the end of each month, what you can do is, number one, look at where you started in the very beginning, even if that was like 2 or 3 months ago, and also analyze your averages from the month, right? So think about, okay, a couple spikes right here, I was a couple pounds up, but my average is down 7 pounds. That's great, and that should really make you disregard those individual spikes that happen for reasons that have absolutely nothing to do with gaining body fat. So, I understand this isn't for anybody, and as I said at the beginning of this video, if you're somebody who has a bad relationship with the scale, this technique or this method are not really a good idea for you. But we cannot shy away from what is going to help people the most and give people the most clear, accurate picture of how they're actually doing, just because we do have a subset of the population that struggles with it. So if you're somebody who doesn't struggle, you should definitely be weighing yourself in every single day to get the best picture of how you're actually doing. And that's going to tell you, hey, I'm doing great, I'm going to keep going with what I'm doing, or okay, this is consistently not really working, so I got to make some adjustments, right? Because it's always going to be trial and error. You're going to have to make changes as you go, and again, understanding that you're just not always going to lose weight, which is why it's just always important to look at those long-term averages and where you are now versus where you started. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. I'd love to hear your comments or questions. If you have them, leave them in the comments. And again, please, if you're not subscribing to my YouTube channel already, make sure you hit